Woo! World champions. How about that, huh? Huh? How's that suck? Hey, take that. Wisconsin got it right in the election, and they win a world championship the next year. How about that, huh? They redeem themselves.
Here's the problem. It's Milwaukee. Milwaukee is a blue part of Wisconsin, right?
Yes, it is.
So therefore, it really isn't Wisconsin. It's definitely not.
It's also Madison. Madison's a very blue part as well.
Well, but the team is in Milwaukee. It's just that simple. It's like when the Carolina Hurricanes win the Stanley Cup. Is that a victory for Greensboro? Fuck no.
It is because they're the Carolina Hurricanes. They got a lot of fans here. Huge amount. Plus, that's where the team started when their first year when they were forced to play in that shithole, the Greensboro Coliseum.
And when the Panthers win a Super Bowl, it's going to be huge in Wilmington.
Anderson
will share it. Yeah.
Chiraw, Columbia.
It's Chiraw.
Damn it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
What if you were from here, you'd know that.
Yeah, one of these days, I'll get it right.
Damn it.
The Milwaukee Bucks. Woo! Yeah, Milwaukee Bucks. Yay. We love the Bucks. Yeah.
You know, the ridiculous part of that is the only reason they won is because he made all the foul shots.
Yeah.
If he would have just, if he would have gone, 60% like he usually does, they would have been fucked.
17 of 19. 17 of 19. But then that one official in games he's officiated, what is Chris Paul lost now 12 straight postseason games? That one official. It's just a thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah. We're going to be looking pretty damn good here.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. I can even do a label ahead of time here.
That's crazy.
That's a rarity.
It is odd.
I titled it on my page, Little Rush, still not vaccinated.
Still, you're damn right.
Yeah. You know why? Because you can always fly down to Haiti and get right?
Too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Never too soon. All right, it's the Brad and Britt cast. We're glad you are with us today, as we always are. We're happy that you've set aside some time during your day, during your evening, overnight, when you get up, whenever you're watching or hearing us. Thank you so much. We're greatly appreciative of it. Waiting in the wings, as they like to say in old show business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Little Rush. And Little Rush can hear us. So he will be prepared to comment on what I'm about to share with you. And this is a tough one. We have a doctor in Alabama who is revealing the details, and they're kind of heartbreaking, about her recent conversations with patients who are dying of COVID. And of course, Alabama is it's a hot spot right now. Alabama has the lowest vaccination rate in the nation. Although sometimes you hear Arkansas, sometimes you hear Missouri, but anyway, they're down there. They're down there in the bottom.
Right.
The doctor's name is Dr. Brittany Kobia, and she wrote this Sunday on the Facebook. She said, "I'm admitting young, healthy people to the hospital with very serious COVID. One of the last things they do before they're intubated is beg me for the vaccine. I hold their hand and tell them I'm sorry, but it's too late."
Right.
Of course, yeah. Well, we don't have to finish the obviousness of that.
No, do you think that there are certain people that really feel like
No, it just never penetrated through to them. They didn't hear that. Oh, by the way, when you get vaccinated, it takes a couple of weeks, and then you need another one. But okay, right.
Do you think that's part of the problem, though, that there are certain people like in Alabama and some of these states that feel like they can wait all the way up until when they're hospitalized and then they get sick and then they can still get vaccinated and be okay? Do you think that's part of the problem?
I don't think that that's part of the problem. That's just almost that's almost an anecdotal desperation thing that someone might say. All right. So she goes, a few days later, when I call the time of death, I hug their family members and I tell them the best way to honor their loved one is to go get vaccinated and encourage everybody they know to do the same. They cry. They tell me they didn't know. Well, there you go, Britt. They thought it was a hoax. They thought it was political. They thought because they had a certain blood type or a certain skin color that they wouldn't get as sick. They thought it was all just the flu, but they were wrong and they wish they could go back, but they can't. So they thank me and they go get a vaccine. And then I go back to my office, write the death notice and say a small prayer that this loss will save more lives. So what I just read goes right to what you just said, which is just this beyond belief among us elites that there is this much disinformation, misinformation that people would think it's the blood type, it's the I'm a certain race, I can't get sick, and it all stems from Trump, I think, and then washes through the conservative right-wing ecosystem with an umbrella Facebook and social media ability to have it spread around. But I mean, to me, that just tells you kind of everything that you know. But then we always ask, well, is this going to be enough? Because really, we're at what, about 620,000 official deaths from COVID. So, and what, about 250,000 of them have come since the beginning of this year. So it's not as if, the deaths just stopped. And it's not as if there haven't been hundreds of thousands of deaths just like this among people who could have been vaccinated and not gone through this. So we always get to that eternal question, what is it going to take? And I guess for people like this, maybe the death of a very close loved one does it, but I don't think that spreads throughout the community. We haven't seen that yet. We have not seen just even the hint of that having an effect. And I don't know what the answer is that people do give when they are presented these facts by a doctor like this, when their loved one has died. Do they all run out and get the vaccine immediately? I doubt that. I wonder if some of them argue, don't get it, can't understand it.
Sure.
I mean, you got your kids vaccinated before they went to school when they were in kindergarten, and nobody needs to do research on the vaccine. No one wants more information. You know what? You just do it because it's the right thing to do. And I consider this to be, a very emblematic story as to, what we're up against in so many areas. Now, if we can hang on, let me see if I can. Let me get the button here. Little Rush, were you listening to that?
Yes, good to be with you again across hell. It is fantastic. It's a wonderful day in hell with half my brain tied behind my back to make it safe and fair for the libs. Delighted to be with you across the fruited plain, having more fun than someone in hell should be having. It is I, Little Rush, and those two idiots who have replaced me on radio sound like shit. Delighted to be with you. How are you?
Yeah, whoever they are. Now, first question, and I wish we could ask this of all these people at Fox who have been so anti-vax and suddenly in the last 2 days have, they've kind of abandoned your cause, Little Rush. Have you been vaccinated yet after all this time?
Hell to the no. Here in hell, there's so much heat, it kills the virus. We don't need it, even though we know for a fact, folks, it is a fact. Satan created the vaccine. I am not taking it. I am holding out, and freedom reigns supreme here in hell. That is what's happening. Yes, folks.
Yeah. Okay.
Delighted to be with you, and it's just
uh,
wonderful to be here. And I am so glad that they have chosen in places like Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri, and Arkansas, folks. They have chosen freedom, and they have chosen against the Biden agenda, folks, to put a microchip in one's skin.
That's what it is, huh?
That's exactly right, folks. And
Really?
you see the freedom that is reigning supreme.
It is.
In
It is
Alabama,
wonderful.
Mississippi,
Yeah.
you know, that's what they say. What is the New Hampshire state logo? What is their state motto, folks?
Live free or die.
Well,
Live
these folks
free or
are
die.
dying. That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. They're choosing to die rather than to have Joe Biden's socialism pumped into their skin, folks, as we see across America.
But wait a minute. Why, if the vaccine was developed and funded in part due to the impetus of the Trump administration, it's kind of Donald Trump's vaccine. Why would the same people who support Trump, and therefore I'm sure we're happy when he was saying, and we're supportive when he was saying, we are developing this vaccine faster than anybody thought was possible. It could have never happened under anybody else. And now, 6-7 months later, the vaccine is proven to be safe and effective. Why wouldn't people want to take the Trump vaccine, Little Rush?
Well, because I think there's one simple solution. The Jews. That's exactly what's going on.
Wait a second.
Everybody, I can say it now that I'm here in hell. I'm free to say it. It's the Jews. Everybody knew if you just pumped a little bleach and a little hydroxychloroquine into yourself, and that was the scientific way to go. And that is what Donaldus Maximus said to us, and we love him for it. He is going to be reinstalled as our president on August the 13th or the 15th or the 17th. One of those days, he is going to be reinstalled as president of these United States, folks.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
Are you following current politics here in the United States, Little Rush? I know, you're kind of divorced from it now. You really don't have to. You can just sit back and relax if you want to. Are you paying close attention here to what's going on?
As always, folks, I have my finger on the pulse of what is happening in America, right? Even here as I monitor things from hell, from the sunny Southern Command.
Right. Well, the big political story of Wednesday, in addition to the back and forth over voting for the infrastructure bill and what's going on in the Senate, is that Nancy Pelosi, one of your favorite people, one of your favorite people, said today that of the 5 folks that Kevin McCarthy wanted to put on the committee that is investigating what happened on January 6th, it's the select committee in the House, not a necessarily bipartisan committee, but out of the goodness of her heart, she said, okay, we'll allow 5 members of the Republicans to join the group, and she's rejecting 2 of them. She's rejecting Jim Jordan and this guy Jim Banks, who's just another firebrand, anti-everything kind of guy. And it's kind of a breaking story this afternoon, and I don't know what's going to happen. I would assume that the Republicans love this. It gives them even more of an excuse to say that that's not fair. We should be able to put anybody we want on there. We should be able to put the shaman with the horns and the bear skin on there if we want. You have no right to tell us. So you're screwing this up. It's not us. What's your take on that?
God forbid we have a white male on this particular panel. God forbid we have a Caucasian penis represented on this panel, folks. He is threatened by the Caucasian penis. That is what Nancy Pelosi is all about. And this is a bullshit deal all the way around. Everyone knows it. Everyone is aware of it. Her little committee is here to play politics. and to drag Donald Trump through the mud. Everybody knows it.
Right.
Jim Jordan is a great American, has done nothing but great things for this country, did great things for the Ohio State wrestling team when he was coaching there, coached them fantastic to a national championship, and by God, she is threatened by the Caucasian penis.
You think
and that's all that is happening here, and we can all see it. And meanwhile, they're watching Cuba, and Nancy Pelosi is crying now because the communists are dying in Cuba. And also now she's hoping that she can get Nancy Pelosi is responsible for killing that Haitian president. You know this, right? She is responsible.
I did not hear that. No, I did not hear that.
She wants a socialist dictator installed in Haiti, folks.
When did she say that? When did she say that?
Well, she doesn't have to say it. It's not on a T-shirt or a bumper sticker. It's in her life. Okay, that's how she lives her life. They are trying to install. She and Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. are trying to install a socialist dictator in Haiti, and it is clear and it is plain as the nose on your face, folks.
Hey,
that is what is happening.
Little Rush, have you been back up to South Florida to hang out there? Because a lot of the old Trump people now live down there. The kids are down there.
Well,
and folks like that. Have you spent any time back there since you left us?
Once you're in hell, you don't want to experience the junior varsity version, folks, which is South Florida. So no, I stay right here in the sunny, very extremely southern command. That's what I do, folks. So thank you.
Little Rush, great to have you check in with us. You sound great. For those that can see you, they can see that you look great. You're trim, you're slim. You got yourself a little beard working there right now.
Feeling good.
And a lot of people, again, the podcast people who are just hearing this, you are actually wearing a championship now. You can call it a championship Milwaukee Bucks.
That's right.
Right.
That's exactly
50 years since they last won. And, well, there you go. I didn't know you were such a fan of that team. I had no idea.
Hopefully next year we'll get a couple of good white players on that team, and they'll go all the way and do even better.
I don't. Okay.
I can say all these things now that I'm in hell. I can say them all.
Yeah. Now you can start to say racist things. You couldn't say them before, and you kept them inside, and we're glad that you did.
Not just racist, but also anti-Semitic, all the misogynist, all the gloves are off here in hell, pal.
Yeah, but Little Rush, how many Jews fired you when you were working your way up in radio? How many?
18 Jews.
18. You kept a count, huh?
18 Jews fired me. I've got the list right here, folks. They were all. It's an enemies list, folks. Just like Nixon, mine is full of Jews. That's how it works.
But the last names were Rabinowitz, Feldman, Cohn,
all of those people,
Friedman,
Goldman.
all those guys. Yeah, they all.
How did you know? It's crazy that you would even know that sort of thing. It's amazing.
Yeah. Just
the only Paul Newman is on my list and also on Nixon's list. I don't know how they made both lists, but that's how it happened.
Well, good. He's a good-looking Jew.
He certainly is. Fantastic-looking Jew.
All right. Take care, Little Rush. See you later.
God bless you, and hubba hubba.
All right.
Good Lord.
So I found a little factoid today about one of the two guys that Nancy Pelosi is tossing off the panel. This Banks guy.
Yeah.
You ready? Banks's communications director is named Buckley Carlson. Guess who Buckley Carlson's daddy is?
That's too good. Is that really true?
It is true.
That's Tucker's spawn? Is that true?
Oh, yes,
that's
it is
disgusting. Buckley, first of all, the idea, I'm assuming he was named after William F. Buckley. I'm assuming that's a little too on the nose, right? Yeah. What's his other kid? Reagan Freedom Fuck Buckley? Is that his other child?
Britt, I'm looking at a piece. This is from August 4th of 2019, so less than 2 years ago. At that time, he hired this guy, Buckley Carlson. He had just graduated from UVA, Virginia. He had applied for a communications job, and so he started out at the bottom. He was answering mail, doing shit work for the stars, as we like to say, and it didn't take long, and now he is Jim Banks, communications director. Now, I know that the Republicans are going to be outraged. You can't hold that against the congressman that his communications director happens to be
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson's son.
Of
That's
all
just
the
not
people.
fair, but
No.
yeah.
He just posted. He just happened to choose the best guy, right? That's what
Yeah.
happened. That's what it was.
Right,
There's his
right,
LinkedIn
right.
profile. There you go.
Right,
There's
right.
there's his
Isn't that a
stupid.
great one? Isn't that a wonderful piece of?
It's a nice nugget. That's why you people check this thing out. That's why you look at this thing on Facebook and you download the podcast. Nobody else is talking about this. We're the only ones talking about stupid Carlson's stupid son.
Right. Now you want to know how I found that out? I was reading the article today in the Washington Post about Pelosi tossing these two guys off, and you learn things from the commenters, okay? Because like the second or third commenter said that Tucker Carlson's son is Banks's communications director. Or really? And so then I looked it up. Mr. Google, always helpful for these situations, and it's true. It's true. Isn't that wonderful? Ain't that great? Ain't that wild?
That's funny.
Yeah. So, truthfully, though, and we're too early into this. I'm sure by the time people are hearing us later, there will be this complete outrage. Absolutely. How dare she? Right? She has no right. All the things, and this is proof that you don't want an honest investigation. Right? It'll be all, and of course they will all leave out the fact that it was. If it was not for the fact that they voted against a true bipartisan committee that would have a lot more supposed credibility, that there would not be this kind of idiocy going on in the first place. But okay, but this is what Republicans do. This is what terrorists do. They intentionally put two people, or three at least, out of the five out there, knowing full well that these people are completely unfit,
correct,
and not suitable.
Correct.
This is like inviting Hitler to your son's bar mitzvah. Okay, you just don't do it. It's not going to happen.
It's a bit of a poison pill, it is.
Not going to be right. And,
it's a bit of a poison pill.
It worked. It worked for them either way. If she says, okay, just let these guys go, they're going to just blow up the proceedings. They're going to just start pointing fingers and shouting,
and it's going to be
and it'll be 100% whataboutism. Why are we here talking about January 6th when blah 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 blah?
Portland, Minneapolis,
exactly.
It's all that shit,
right? And they'll get the headline and they'll get the sound bite, and that's what they want. And if she says no, we don't want you here. Well, that's dictator Pelosi. That's dictator Queen Nancy, blah 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 blah, running the country.
She's been kicking their ass for a long time, and I love to see her kicking their ass. And every time that she would negotiate with Trump, she would outdo Trump and she would outsmart him because she's smarter than he is. I mean, it's not that hard, but she's smarter. She's more seasoned. She knows the ropes. She would kick his ass every time there was any kind of a negotiation, and it destroyed him.
Advance that to now. If she was undoubtedly smarter than Trump.
Yeah.
Kevin McCarthy, not even as smart as Trump.
No.
I don't think Kevin McCarthy has, the brain that he was born with. I think it withered on the vine a long time ago. And he fashions himself as this brilliant strategist.
There was a reflection point for Kevin McCarthy on January the 6th when he cusses out Donald Trump. And he's like, get these, and Donald Trump tells him, oh, well, I guess these people care more about the election than you do, Kevin. And then he decides a little bit a while longer to fly down to Mar-a-Lago and kiss Donald Trump's ass. That was the inflection point. That's where you decide what you're going to be. And he is what he is. That's all he's going to be, is he's got to kiss the ass of Donald Trump. He's got to go all in on this bullshit. And he's got to ride the train all the way down into the very depths of hell. We just heard a guy who was down in hell. Another round of America's favorite game, Brad. Is it too stupid for us to talk about? In this case, is she too stupid for us to talk about? Marjorie Taylor Greene says she wants to deport every single Chinese in this country loyal to the CCP. This coming off an interview in which she completely blows the HIPAA laws again and laughs at the people who are dying of COVID-19 in Georgia. Georgia, yet another hot spot, at least in the rural areas for sure. Is Marjorie Taylor Greene too stupid for us to talk about?
Well, this one is clearly too stupid for us to talk about, because just the headline itself, deport every single Chinese in this. Now take out the word Chinese and pick any other ethnicity. Every single Italian in this country loyal to Italy. every single Jew loyal to Israel.
Israel.
I mean, this is so. Again, you don't want to use superlatives, or this is the worst thing ever, or this is the most racist thing, this is the most stupid thing, as if we don't have that many Chinese Americans, people who've been in this country for generations, who are loyal to another country. And I think we went through something like that in 1942 with Japanese. I can't remember what it is, but I'll have to ask renowned historian Donald Trump. He knows all about those kinds of things. Maybe he can help us with that. But yeah, that part of it's definitely too stupid to talk about. And the little nugget about her not wanting to reveal whether she's vaccinated or not, which of course, remember the rule, everyone that ever says that is vaccinated. Sure. And they're lying. Okay, we just know that that's true. Who's a public figure? Okay, they're all vaccinated at this point. Although I guess some Republicans, maybe they're not. Maybe she is living the gimmick. Maybe she is that stupid. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll find out.
I guess if anyone was stupid enough to do that, it might be her. But I would like to see the Congress now. I would like to see Pelosi in the House do what a lot of companies are doing. I want to see her do what hospitals are doing all over this country. Say, you're not vaccinated. You're not allowed in. You can't come to work. You cannot come to work. Why doesn't she do that? She should do that instantly. She should do, no question about it.
She's been fined many times. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been fined many times for not wearing the mask. That's also another thing inside the House. And experts are saying once the FDA gives full approval to the vaccine, which is only a matter of time, that it's going to be even easier for employers to mandate the vaccine in order for you to come to work. And you're already seeing the court rulings over and over again at universities and different places saying, that the employers can do that.
They're already able to do it without full FDA approval. So yeah, that was a good opener for, is this too stupid to talk about? Now, how about this one?
Okay, I'm ready.
Hey, it's not Barack, it's Barrick who's going to go up the river, Don. Not Barack. It's going to be Barrick. Like that one? You like that?
I do like that one. Yes.
Yeah. This guy reeked of criminal the first time you ever saw him 4 or 5 years ago. Nobody knew who he was, right? He was not a public figure. He was not a famous guy that you would see on the financial channels or anything of that sort. I never knew who he was. But apparently he was a pretty wealthy guy, this Tom Barrick, friend of Trump. And he made a lot of money. He owned data centers, telecom towers, multi-billion-dollar empire. And of course, I always step back when I see stories like this, and I go, "Shit, you're 72, 73 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got more money than you can ever imagine. You've got enough money to take care of everyone in your life that will ever need it. You've got enough money to donate to charity. You can be that person. What would, at that age, make you say, this is worth it? This is worth doing, especially associated with Trump." And then I forgot one of our early precepts, one of our building blocks, which is, if you do business with Donald Trump, at some point in time, it will end in tears, and it will be bad for you. And it may not be bad for him. He may get away with it. But for you, it's never going to work out. And this is a perfect case. I mean, the things that he is charged with are so horrendous. This whole idea of being an unregistered foreign agent for the United Arab Emirates, or the Emiratis. I'm not quite sure which is the right way. You hear it said both ways, tomato, tomato. Tomato, tomato. But he got the United Arab Emirates, and you have to think about this, and then you remember it's true. Remember when Trump put up the ban on flying into the United States from all over the Middle East? Well, guess which country had an exemption? The UAE.
Yeah.
Guess who was running interference for them? You know who.
Jeez.
You know who. I mean, and by the way, that's just the beginning of. We don't have to go through all the charges, but and the interesting thing about this is here's a guy who really can't afford good lawyers. Okay, there's no amount of money that he's not going to try to spend. But I would think that again, at that age, with that amount of money, you got to cut a deal. You got to fess up. Is he going to go to jail to protect Donald Trump? And I know that right now, so far, the way you're hearing the story covered, well, so far there's no connection directly on how this would affect Donald Trump or anyone.
Sure.
Okay, we know that. We know
it's all coincidental. All of this
right,
is coincidental.
Right. So, I find it fascinating and interesting. I like the fake skepticism yesterday, which was, boy, the timing on this is really interesting. Look what's going on right now, and then suddenly this fuck. No, airplanes land one after another. Okay. They just come in one after another.
Yeah, they do.
The number of people associated with Trump who have been charged, indicted, arrested, and convicted, it never stops. It may not stop for years.
Yeah.
I think we're closer to the beginning of this than we are the end. And Barrick was the campaign chairman as far as the inauguration party celebration in 2016. Remember, that's the one, and it's hard to remember all these things. It really is, because there were so many. But if you remember, back then, it's not new, but back then, Trump was bragging about how much money had been raised for the inauguration, greatest inauguration ever. Going to be the biggest thing ever. Well, it turned out it wasn't. They had to shrink it way, way down.
Sure, they did.
They did. It ended up being nothing compared to other inaugurations. Yet, more than twice as much money was raised for Trump's. Where did the money go?
That's funny.
What happened to the money? We've never had an answer to that. And who was in charge of the inauguration in 2016? Tom Barrick, not Barack. Tom Barrick. No. So we wish him well. We wish him well.
Oh, as always, if nothing else. Going back to your heartbreaking story out of Alabama that you were relating to Little Rush, and I thought he trampled all over that. That was very unfortunate. Nick Saban, the most powerful man in the state of Alabama, the coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, explaining his vaccine conversation when the program says 90% got shots. 90%, Brad. Has the Alabama football team become woke? Can we no longer root for the University of Alabama? Is it Roll Tide anymore?
Well, first of all, we'll just say it should be, of course, 100%.
Yeah, it should.
Okay, we'll give, if you get 90 on a paper, I used to like 90s. 90s were good. That was a decent B. That was a real good B.
In a state where less than 30% are vaccinated. Holy shit, are you kidding?
Right. I mean, less than 20% graduated high school.
Well, there you go. those are not really stats.
I'm sure that Nick Saban, think what you want of him. He's a great coach, and I'm sure he has a very, how should we say it, persuasive personality with his players and a hold over that team. So good for him. Yeah, that's a goal, I guess, for every other. Now, my question would be, since we're going to play cheap shot with football coaches here, how do you think Clemson is doing?
Well, again, I've heard a lot of different things there. I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting to see the difference between South Carolina and Alabama. Very, very interesting. Because there is some cross-pollination between those two programs. Dabo Swinney did play football at the University of Alabama.
Well,
played under the great Bear Bryant.
Well, it's every coach for himself, every man for himself, every program for itself right now.
Right.
As far as that goes. But I'll tell you what, though, this the amount of conflict, it's not really conflicting information if you think really, really hard about it, because this was always about common sense to do what you could that was reasonable to not expose yourself as much as possible to blatant amounts of people who might be shedding the virus at you, going back all the way to the beginning. And, we have problems across the country that are going to range not just in the places where the heavy concentrations of the unvaccinated are in the Arkansas and the Mississippis and the Louisianas, but the fight nationally between some of the large organizations over whether kids under 12 are
Right.
going to have to wear masks in school this fall, to me, that's brutal. That is a murderous conversation that's going to be had, and the resistance on that is going to be really, really high. And of course, it shouldn't be. I think if you step back and you say, all right, this isn't like it was a year ago. We have a vaccine, and we know that masks have always been a part of the mitigation process. And right now, until kids under 12 can start getting vaccinated, that's the best we've got. At the same time, we don't want to have everybody at home looking at computer screens for school again. We can't do that. So you've got to give somewhere. If you're going to say we're going to get everybody back in school, then you've got to do the bare minimum. And over a few weeks, we will see around the country how that works out, because there was a lot of anecdotal evidence last year that kids who were going to school, when a lot of kids were staying home, they weren't getting sick. But that was before the Delta virus.
That's correct.
Version, which is a lot more contagious. And I think we still have a language problem. I think we still have a language problem when someone will come on and say, well, the Delta virus is a lot more contagious than... Well, contagious just means you can get it. It isn't necessarily any more likely to kill you. But if you get it, you're still in the same boat that you would have been a year ago. It's just easier to get. And so we do have a language problem going on there. But with that working, we're not out of the woods yet.
Well, there's the headline. All children should wear masks in school this fall, even if vaccinated. That's according to the American Academy of Pediatrics.
Right.
They're calling the new guidance a layered approach. Even if your child has a shot, they think that you should still wear masks. And, some people are kind of confused by that. Obviously, we've talked about how it seems like the air purification system seemed to be more important than the mask stuff, and as far as surface and all that.
Yeah, I forgot. We were going to spend $7 trillion to put new air conditioning into every school to circulate the air. What the fuck was that all about? What was that?
These are HEPA filters. These are HEPA filters.
HEPA. That's bullshit.
That's not bullshit. You can't just say it's bullshit. It's science. It's science, just like that needle that went into your arm. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's better.
Where's the HEPA filter? In the ceiling? Is that going to suck out the virus? What the fuck is that?
They have it around the room. They have them in various mobile places around the room to suck the thing out. I have it at my workplace itself. It's been fairly effective. I mean, masks are very important too, but as far as the surface stuff, as far as the surface cleaners, even the air filters seem to be like way more important than that. That's according to the science.
I think that's coronavirus theater.
The coronavirus theater.
I think it is. I think it is.
Going back to our football stuff, they're having trouble getting the NFL players vaccinated, and there are 2 NFL teams that are, according to one report, that are at less than 50% vaccination. We're just a couple of weeks away from the preseason starting in the National Football League.
Yeah.
What is and I think 85% is the magic number. Once they get to, they can lower some of the COVID restrictions, and they're having trouble among a lot of the teams trying to get there, despite offering that sweet candy.
I don't understand that in the least. I don't understand why the owners, the coaches, the union, the workers don't agree that they need universal vaccination. The example that would be set if the NFL said no vaccine, no play. What happened to that idiot in Buffalo? Remember that guy a couple months ago? That
you haven't heard this. You haven't
receiver?
heard this story?
No, what? This
Cole
is the guy that
Beasley?
said he was never going to get vaccinated, right?
He said if somebody will pay me or pay my wife, then I will have it done. I don't have the story, but I'll grab it. And then Mark Cuban goes, okay, you get the shot. I'll buy you a share of Pfizer stock. Pfizer stock pays about a 3% dividend. That's part of their profits. Can we have the deal? I'll buy your wife a share of the stock if you'll get the thing. Now, Cole Beasley has not returned the favor on that deal, but that's what Mark Cuban has offered.
So the guy didn't name a price, right?
No.
Beasley didn't name it. He just said, pay me.
Pay me. That's right.
Well, wait a minute. People were getting donuts. People were getting tickets to sporting events. And this guy's an NFL player. He's obviously making good. What kind of crazy shit is that?
Well, he's insane, obviously. The guy's insane. And then, Mark
The
Cuban
NFL,
has kind of called his bluff.
All right. I'm going to, let's see. I guess the owners can't unilaterally command this. They can't command this. But if the players union said, I hate to sound like Neil Bortz here, but this could be a players union problem. The union is standing up for the freedom of players not to get vaccinated. What the hell is that all about?
Well,
and I'm sorry, the players union, let's cut to the chase here. If the players union is at the vanguard, at the front of saying the NFL has screwed over generations of players retiring, concussions, CTE, minorities, and we want compensation. You know what? They're right. But guess what? Here's something that wouldn't cost anything to assure the health of the players. It wouldn't cost. It's a zero cost thing, and they don't want to do it. It's horrible. And I don't know whether it's the union or not, but Jesus Christ, somebody should have some sense.
Do you want some good NFL news? Would you like some good NFL news?
I see somebody on the that guy who was at the Raiders for 30 years. He left.
Sure,
one of the key executives. Yeah.
No, they had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the world champions, at the White House. This is the first Super Bowl champion to appear at the White House to be celebrated since 2017.
Right.
And Tom Brady was actually making a couple of Donald Trump jokes.
I have to tell you something. I'll tell you what. Tom Brady just went to the head of the class.
Yep.
Not only is he the greatest quarterback of all time, but his timing, his insertion of those jokes on Tuesday at the White House were so perfect, and he delivered both lines perfectly. The first joke got way more attention. The 40% of people still don't think we won the Super Bowl line.
That was great.
That's the one that got played more. But the other one, was just as good.
He said he forgot what down it was in Chicago. People started calling him Sleepy Tom. Can you imagine that, Mr. President? And then Joe Biden's like, I don't know. He gives it the take, and it's really great. Tom Brady was this dull, like humorless bastard for like 15 years, and now he's Mr. Comedy, right? He's hilarious.
And that second joke, he put in there the fact that he had played football for 21 years, whatever number of decades, and was known for always being on time, sharp, knowing the score, knowing the down, knowing everything that you need to know. Tom Brady's smart. So one time he forgets something, right? He forgets what down it was. So he probably called the wrong play, and somebody starts calling him Sleepy Tom. That's the perfect takedown of fuck-faced Trump, who thought that calling Joe Biden Sleepy Joe would win him the presidency. It's perfect. It's so good. You know what? It's so good that we've heard nothing.
Right.
Nothing from Trump. Nothing. Because he can't say, I've never met Tom Brady, never heard of him, always thought he was a loser, doesn't have anything going for him. There's nothing he can say. And by the way, it does kind of put to rest all of the, I don't know, I guess we probably talked about it, that maybe Brady was too friendly with Trump back 4 years ago because they saw a MAGA hat or something in his locker once, and they tagged him with he's a Trumper.
Right.
And the fact that he did those jokes, I mean, he's the team leader, right? I just total aces on that. Just that was the best.
This is what New York Magazine says, and that's why they're calling it Donald Trump's the worst day in his life.
Yeah.
While this sounds more gentle than his first joke, it is in fact more deeply vicious. In Trump's mind, Biden is a pathetic loser, and he, Trump, is the winner, like Tom Brady. Yet here was Brady inverting the whole hierarchy. Biden is the winner, like Brady, and winners are now guys who get called sleepy by losers for making a small mistake on the way to their triumph. Biden and Brady together at the White House, Trump used to live in and hope to never leave, basking in their winnerness and laughing at Trump. Donald Trump would rather relive election night 1,000 times than to see this day. That's what New York Magazine says.
Yeah, that was Jonathan Chait. It was a great piece, and he wrote that early in the day on Tuesday, right after it was said. And the great thing is, and the perfection in it is, he never said the name Donald Trump.
That's right.
Never said it. Because when a guy sucks that bad, you don't have to say his name. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. And I guess that's some of the baggage that you carry with you when you are the other guy, the former guy. You're going to get it. But somebody on my Facebook page, this is a great warning. He put this, he said, remember what happened the last time Trump was made fun of?
Oh, yeah.
This way. It was Seth Meyers, right? Yeah. And Barack Obama at the White House.
Oh, now he's going to run for president. Oh, no.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's as an old friend of ours used to say, that's some funny shit.
That is some funny shit.
That is definitely some funny shit. All right.
Back at it on Thursday.
Yeah. And by the way, give my best a little rush when you see him.
Oh, yeah. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
What am I going to see him? What do you think I am? I hang out in hell? Damn you.